Un año, 2 años, no se veía tanta presión, tanto miedo.
Well, as raids for immigrants continue to sweep the country, a wave of fear and panic is gripping undocumented workers.
Migración ha andado en las cortes, se oye en la tele.
New video shows ICE agents arresting an alleged victim of domestic violence right after she was granted a protective order.
ICE arrests like this could become the new normal.
The precedent this sets for people who want to come forward and help solve crimes, but are now afraid of being deported.
If I wasn't undocumented, and if he wasn't undocumented, I would have called the cops.
92871 arriving in Massachusetts.
Yo sé que ellos, a veces ellos están, los policías están para ayudarnos nomás, pero...
They have the right to ask me if I'm documented or not.
What did you see happen?
Living under the same roof with someone that you know could harm you or your children and not being able to call the authorities, it's a very scary situation.
Que varias veces él me puso la pistola y me decía que él me iba a matar.
Dijo que a mí no me iban a hacer caso porque no tenía papeles.
You have to think, what are the consequences if I call the cops?
¿Qué tal que no me ponen atención a mí?
I don't want to get them in trouble.
Y yo soy arrestada, y me meten a la cárcel y me mandan para México.
Because it wouldn't just be a day in jail and you learned your lesson. It would be a day in jail and then you're going to get deported.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining me this evening as I sign a law. It ensures that law enforcement officers in Texas can and will cooperate with ICE. Elected officials and law enforcement agencies, they don't get to pick and choose which laws they will obey. Texas has now banned sanctuary cities in the Lone Star State.
Senate Bill 4, it opens the window for law enforcement officers to ask for immigration status. So that's the thing. Everybody's scared. A lot of folks are scared, and that fear has always been there. It just enhanced when SB4 came into just in the talks, and so it doesn't help make our jobs easier. That's for sure.
It seems like there's a culture problem, especially with Hispanics. It's so many victims that eventually do not go far enough to stop this. What can we do?
We're not interested in somebody's immigration status. If a person's a victim of a crime or a witness of a crime, we want them to understand that this department stands with the victims and witnesses of crime, but most importantly, a crime that impacts children and women disproportionately, like domestic violence.
There's been a really mean-spirited debate in terms of immigration at the national level. And here in Texas, with Senate Bill 4, with the anti-sanctuary city bill, it creates an environment where people feel like if I report this, they're going to be more interested in my immigration status rather than my value as a human being.
Siempre trataba de meterme miedo para que yo no buscara ayuda y no poder tener una paz, una tranquilidad. Tener miedo de que él me encuentre donde dijo que me iba a matar junto con mis hijos. Es un miedo muy grande. Y no quiero vivir en un apartamento porque sé que él me va a encontrar. Salí huyendo porque me cansé del abuso. Sentía como que no había ayuda para mí. Estoy en un shelter. Es más mejor aquí. Me siento segura con mis niños chiquitos. Miedo con migración todavía la tengo. Miedo de ir a las cortes, todavía tengo miedo de ir a cortes.